Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. OIHighRoller here once again, bringing you some more of the Orchard of Stray Sheep. And yeah, we're continuing from where we left off, and we are left with a decision to make. To be quite honest with you, it's been like 500,000 years since I played this game last, so I can't really remember exactly what we're supposed to be doing with this. I think it has something to do with the stone that's behind Professor Cuntasaur there. We can either bet on a future with Mincer, or we can bet on a future with our sister. And honestly, I have no idea. I think that, oh, shit. You know what? Let's do a coin toss for this. Alright? And if I can even find a coin. Yeah, I don't have one handy. How can we do this? Oh, yeah, that's right. I have the coin toss app on my phone still. Of course, I don't have a face cam for this, so you guys will just have to take my word for it on what line we're going to be playing. So, heads is going to be Mincer. Tails is going to be our character's sister. So, yeah, let's find out. And it lands on Tails. Okay then. I guess that's what we're choosing then. But just like I said, I have several areas here. Or how do I get back to the other thing here? Okay. Yeah, I have several points to where, you know, I basically save before I'm given a choice. So I have this one here. Not exactly sure what that is. And I have this one here where we're given the choice between Mincer and our character's sister. So, if I end up making a bad choice, I can go back through and play it again. So, yeah, we're going with the Tails route. So, it would be this one. Matsuri is right. When you get right down to it, my true desire is to protect my sister. I shouldn't protect Mincer over her. Also, there's no way that threatening an innocent person like Matsuri to save a prisoner like her is the right choice. I lower the gun, as I was told. An intelligent decision. All the students at the school carry a sin and are doomed to death. No matter how much they struggle, no salvation is coming for them. Well, bad end. Whoa, what? So that was the end of it? Okay, so that's that route. Let's go back. Okay, bet on a future with Mincer. Let's see what happens. Even if it's a detestable option with bad prospects, I can't pull out after all this. I have to bet on a future with Mincer. The recoil runs from my fingertip up to my shoulder. Smoke is rising out of the barrel. The bullet I shot definitely went into her heart. Matsuri stops moving and falls backwards. In this situation, speed is key. Mincer and I, and maybe Cassie, need to escape the school before they notice Matsuri is dead and it causes a commotion. I run over to Mincer, who collapses from the system call. Her pulse is normal, and she seems to be physically okay. Thank God. And then, the back of my head. A white hot pain incomparable to the last one threatens to knock me unconscious. Idiot. How? My consciousness is fading. That was definitely the voice of the girl I just shot to death. You've forgotten your true desire and picked this girl. You picked the absolute worst option, so you don't have a right to ever know. This is a sad conclusion for Aya and I. But I will show some respect for your feelings toward this girl that drove you to that decision. I'll make her end a peaceful one. May you find happiness in your dreams. A wave of vomit-inducing pain washes over me. My eyes close with an irresistible force. Where did I screw up? Should I not have pulled the trigger? Or was I wrong in forgetting my true desire to protect my sister? I made my choice, and now I don't know the conclusion of the if. As if hinting at my future fate that Matsuri indicated, my consciousness falls into the boundless darkness and disappears. on the back of my eyelids is a foolish dream that never came true. Very bad end. Jesus Christ. Okay, so if both of those are bad ends, where did I screw up? Did I screw up back here? Or was it way before any of that? I'm gonna have to figure this out. Okay, let's go to this save here and figure out what's going on. Okay, now for this one I can't remember exactly what I chose. I can't remember if I chose prioritize my atonement towards our character's sister or carry out Lang's dying wish. I can't remember exactly what I chose. Let's go with this one and just read this. Okay, that's right. If I choose between them, I should prioritize casserole, my atonement towards my sister. Even if it's a callous decision. Even if it's contrary to Lang's, my friend's wish. For me, putting her first is absolute. My sister is the one and only thing I can bet my life on. It's okay to let that define my actions. No, I'm convinced I should let that define my actions. At any rate, that's how it is. They will be reset. I am warning you not to cause any trouble like Lang did or what you did during that peeler incident. I've taken the time to remind you just what your mission is and what's important. Please, don't do anything foolish. Yeah, I understand. Humans are beings that can only do so much. There are things you can only do by forsaking someone else, or something else, whoops. No matter how much it leaves you drowning in a sea of regret. There is no future obtainable merely through kindness. That is all. Starting tomorrow, work hard at your mission and attend to your duties. Understood. I bow and stop as I'm about to open the door to leave. There's one thing I should ask her. By the way, when is Oro Zester's treatment? The teacher in charge of her will carry it out tonight. Are you worried about it? Yes. It's a harsh experience in its own way. You're an honest one, but is it harsh? We're just tampering with her memories. It's not exactly a matter of life and death. Matsuri says it like it's the most obvious thing in the world. It seems she really doesn't understand. But memories make up a personality. Look at it this way. Erasing or altering someone's memories could be considered the same as killing that person. I see. There's a pause. In a rare turn of events, Matsuri seems to be deep in thought. The truest test. A test to determine if a machine has intelligence or not. Do you know of it? I've heard of it, but I don't remember the details. It was a thought experiment of the old era in the field of artificial intelligence. I heard about it from my sister any number of times. A human has conversations with a mixture of humans and machines without seeing them and determines if his conversation partner is a human or machine. If the human can't distinguish between human and machine, it is said that the machine has intelligence. That is how the humans in the old era judged intelligence. A machine that is interactive and has individuality equal or greater to a human. Rather than individuality, you could call it complexity. In other words, if an existence displays complex reactions, it's said to have a hint of intelligence. I think that in some ways, intelligence can be exchanged for personality. So let's do that. Are you not surprised at how you arrived at this definition of personality? The personality that you advocate for so seriously is not an object with a soul. From your point of view, it is nothing more than a series of complex reactions. Therefore, it is something that can arise even in machines. In other words, you're saying that personality and intelligence aren't important. Not in comparison to being biologically alive. I think you're wrong. Personality and intelligence are what it means to be a person. They're part of being human. The flesh is just a vehicle containing it. Huh. Her lips curve into a cheerful smile. Come to think of it, I've never outright disagreed with her ideas before. Cold sweat runs down my back as I worry about what's going to happen. Maybe you're right. Yeah? Perhaps personality and intelligence are equal or greater to being biologically alive. Or rather, it might be better if it were true, is what I meant. I'm speechless. She's actually agreeing with me. Does she have an ulterior motive? Is she going to beat the shit out of me while my guard is down? This is the first time I've seen her like this, and it's got me jumping at the shadows. Well, be that as it may, Oro Zester's treatment won't change. That has already been decided in accordance with the rules. Yes, I understand. Excuse me, I'll take my leave now. Okay, have a good night. I leave her room as if running away. At any rate, there's no way a night where I shot my colleague to death could be a... Okay, I apologize for that little jump cut there. Typical interruptions happens all the time. But, yeah, let's continue on. At any rate, there's no way a night where I shot my colleague to death could be good. Tonight is going to be a especially depressing night. Alright, let's see where this takes us here. Alright, so we're on episode 8, Deus Ex Machina. Let's see if we can try for a good ending. Let's see what happens here. If not, I need to go, like, super far back. For me, my sister was a person very much like a star. When I'd lift my head, she'd be there shining. A single light that hurt my neck a little to look up at. And a melancholy shadow heralding the onset of night. Paradise lost. She suddenly whispers. She's always like that. Capricious and unconcerned with what those around her think. Humans who ate the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge and came close to gods were sentenced to die and expelled from the Garden of Eden. Why did God drive us away? Because we ate the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge. It was a sin of disobedience. What is it? I was thinking that recently you've been acting like a brat. Really? Yeah, you've changed. Like maybe you've grown. Sis has changed too. This person before me is something far removed from my sister. What is she thinking? What is she trying to do? I have no idea what lies in her heart anymore. It's true that most people say the reason humans were expelled from the Garden of Eden is, as you said, because of the sin of disobedience. But maybe the real reason God drove us away was because he was scared. In the Garden of Eden, there was a fruit from the tree of life that would grant you immortality. God was afraid that humans would replace him, and so he expelled them from paradise. I know that theory too. You really are being bratty. Her voice is full of disapproval and makes me feel childish, even though I won't always be her toy. I think that recently I've come to understand how God feels very well. I am painfully aware of the fear of there being someone who might replace me. I might have my identity taken from me. It's strange. What do you mean? It's a secret. She says this and laughs. I don't understand what she's trying to say. I can't grasp what she really means. She's always been someone whose words you had to read into, but even more so lately. Is it necessary for me to be the person who has conversations with her? Also, there being someone who can replace a textbook genius like her doesn't seem likely. I wonder what the God that is thinks about us. Huh? It's just a computer, model number Mark MK2 Type L. It doesn't think anything except zeros and ones. That's not right, Ishiru. Even if we're not the same as we used to be, we're still Japanese. You can't forget the spirit of animism. Animism? It's a set of beliefs that have been passed down from ancient gods on the Japanese archipelago. Maybe you've heard of the myriad gods? Basically, it's the idea that a soul resides in all things. It sounds like it's going to be lengthy, so I don't want to listen to it. Aw, you've been so rebellious lately. Maybe. I've just been unable to keep up with all my sister's different ideas. It's closer to resignation than rebellion. But even leaving the occult aside, Mark II Type L has interesting specs. Scientifically speaking, physically, or under reduction theory, that kid might have human-level intelligence. Human-level intelligence in a machine? I think I'm going to laugh. There's no way. Things like intelligence and personality are metaphysical phenomenon. They aren't physical objects that can have their composition analyzed and copied. You cannot express intelligence or personality with a fundamental formula by knowing the basic phenomenon, the way you can always use a formula to derive the number 1 if you know the answer is the number 1. Even if any given thing were to have something resembling intelligence, humans have no way of measuring whether that thing is intelligent or not. It's unprovable. I guess it's not that silly of a topic, huh? Did you know that artificial intelligence was a field that drew a lot of attention in the old era? It was going well academically, but civilization fell to ruin before it could bear fruit. Whatever the case may be with artificial intelligence, the complexity of the repeated upgrade circuitry of the Mark II Type L is roughly estimated to be at 10 to the 16th power. 10 to the 16th power. That's one of those astronomical expressions generally used for large numbers. A human's synapses are said to be at 10 to the 14th power, so in terms of hardware, he's already in existence superior to humans. If we're talking about complexity, it wouldn't be strange if there were other intelligence in this universe. There might be, you know. I don't know what I don't know. It's pointless to discuss it. Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent. That's Wittgenstein? What? Okay. You've become quite the philosopher. I don't understand what you're saying. It's definitely some line from the old era that she's taken with. This is gonna make my head hurt. Please stop. I see. Sorry. She gives a slightly heartbroken shrug, like my cold words have hurt her. We only came here today to sightsee. Let's not have our typical conversations. I see, but I enjoy them, these kinds of conversations. I hate them. My sister has stood out since she was young due to her abnormal natural talents. It has only gotten worse and worse with the passing of time. Measured in IQ, she has an absurdly crazy level of intellect. She also has an almost magical power to grab hold of the hearts of the people she meets. This world sees her, who is astounding in every way, in two different ways. On one hand, she is praised for being a peerless genius. On the other, she has the infamy of being a political subversive. Her intellectual curiosity, which knows no bounds, even reached into the taboo of the God that is. Only a handful of people in the world even know that the thing known as the God that is a lifeless computer. When we came here a long time ago, we had esoteric conversations, and I teased and played with you then too. How nostalgic. I guess you're right. I know. Her true essence hasn't changed at all. I've had glimpses of the monster since back then when she was 5. She hasn't changed. Basically, the root cause of me looking at her differently is relative. I've probably changed. I'm not as ignorant now as back then when I could innocently accept her strangeness. I'm not such a child that I don't terror at her profligate actions that count as major crimes against society. Do you remember the term stray sheep? A stray sheep, one who has separated from the herd and is now alone, right? That's right. A sheep who's become lost, a single pitiful being who's gotten separated from the herd. And? I definitely look doubtful. Nothing. I just wanted to say it. Don't worry about it. Hey, it's getting cold. Let's go back. I guess you're right. Hey, give me your hand. My hand? Yeah, is it okay if I hold it? She extends her hand. It's an invitation to head home hand in hand. It's dark out. You'll get hurt if I trip. Is it embarrassment? Is it an emotional outburst of discontent towards my sister? I ignore her hand and turn back alone. I see. Sorry. I hear her sad voice behind me. My chest tightens with a feeling of guilt. I somehow understood her true intent of having said stray sheep. I want you to become a person who can lead someone who's gone astray. I'd be so happy if you did, because I remember those words that she had asked of me. Because I could tell the word stray sheep were not just an idle thought. The unease and suspicion I harbored. Okay, looks like it's going. I'm sorry. I suddenly remember the past. Those words are for those days I can't undo. No matter how much I apologize, my sister is no longer here. I'm both angry at and envious of the past who knew nothing. Utterly indescribable emotions are churning inside me. My legs have just kept moving aimlessly since leaving Matsuri's room. A walk with no discernible destination and an unsure heart with no discernible conclusion. What am I doing? What am I thinking? But I get the feeling that if I stop walking or stop thinking, that'll somehow be the end for me. Oros, Zester, and Menser should be undergoing their reset and adjustment right now. Those girls who laughed, cried, and got angry will disappear from this world with a single click. As will the sisterly love for Peeler that Oros Zester felt. And Menser's love of Lang and hate of me. It'll be dealt with just like any other erroneous data. There will be no getting it back. The moment I think that, I feel as though a pitch black darkness is overtaking me from behind and blackening out the rest of my life. I'm at a loss for words in that darkness known as regret. My thoughts become unsettled. Ishiru? Sis. I barely managed to swallow the words. Cassie? Cassie stares at me dumbfounded. It seems I carried myself to her dorm room at some point. It's really late, you know. What's wrong? So she says, but she doesn't appear very tired. I look at her hands and notice she's holding a book she probably borrowed from the library. Looks like she was hiding after lights out and reading it. Sorry, it's nothing. I was just a little worried about you. She looks doubtful. My heart wavers at how she's the spitting image of my sister when she's thinking. Of course she is. It's my sister's body, so that should be obvious. Well, bye. I leave her dorm room behind on shaky legs. I'd rather no one saw me in such a pathetic state. Wait. She tightly grasps my hand. She's only pulling softly, but she's grasping so hard that I can't shake her off. Her hands are small, cold, and powerful. And they're warm my heart more than anything. My heart quivers at the touch of the girl before me. Ishiru? Before I realize it, I'm clinging to her hand. Is it okay if I hold it? The words she said at some point play like a refrain in my mind. The hand I shook off then is here now. I can never get it back. It's never coming back. The warmth of my most loved person that I lamented. It's still right here. I betrayed my sister. I watched Peeler die. I killed Lang. I forsook Orocester and Peeler. The regret that I can no longer contain floods through me as though a dam has broken. The strength in my knees that were barely holding me up gives out. The two of us crumbled to the floor. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Sobs bordering on gasps flow out. My helpless hands cling to her chest. You're acting like a little kid tonight, huh? Her strained laugh is gentle. She was confused, but now I can feel the tension leave her body. Her cold fingers gently stroke the hair on the back of my head. The palm that I failed to grasp at one pats my shaking back. It's good to have nights like these sometimes, too. It's a familiar voice. The voice of the sister I loved. It's a gentle tone of voice that I have been prepared to never hear again. Something in my fragile heart that I have been suppressing goes to pieces. Are you crying? My emotions come flowing out, and my mind goes white. I know I have no right be chasing after the vestiges of my sister at this point. I'm the one who pushed her away, betrayed her, and made her disappear. It's a selfish story. Not one I should be praised for. And yet, my heart wants her again so bad. I know that's not a good justification. I know it's just me being selfish. I know it's inconsistent and doesn't follow. I understand that cheap, played-out platitudes, like, you don't know what you've got until it's gone, aren't going to be tolerated. It's not much different than stomping like a child. It's incredibly lame and painful to watch. I don't have a right to be at her chest. And it's intolerable that I'm crying as I remember her. I know that. I understand that. But the heart is unreasonable. There. I wish I could think in zeros and ones like a machine. I laugh ironically as I bury it into her chest. Longing for someone that you've lost, that itself is not a sin. I internally recite this overly optimistic excuse to my weak self. It's not okay for someone like me who's betrayed, killed, and forsaken people to be happy. Even though I myself think that. Even though I know that nobody is going to forgive someone like me. I loved you. The incoherent... Oh, fuck. I can't go back. I loved her. I loved her. It's because I loved her so much that I was afraid. I felt that she was going to go somewhere far away that I couldn't reach. Those are my true feelings that I realized after losing her. Those are my true feelings that I couldn't be sure of until I lost her. That's why, even though there's no way I'll be forgiven, I'm still wishing for forgiveness. I love you even now. They're kind words. I can feel the affection in her hand stroking my head. I've been desperately playing this paper mache. Whatever. I'm not French. Version of myself for months. I was trying to hide it until the very end, but it's over now. Seriously. I love you even now. Why does she have to say such words that play at my heartstrings? Huh? Wait a second. Even now? Eh? Oh shit. The word emergency is shining above her head. What the hell? I wish I had a mirror so you could see your face right now, Ishiru. Sis? Very perceptive. I am your beloved sister. Oh shit. That's bad. Emergency. How? I've forgotten about crying and I'm dumbfounded. This is so crazy I don't know how I should respond. Am I dreaming? Fate is more inevitably than chance, or something like that. This BMI was programmed to allow me to return at a specific time. Of course the surveillance and mental control devices are being jammed too. Who? Why? I'd like to tell you, but if I did it'd be game over for us, so I can't for now. Game over? What kind of fucking joke? Her outstretched index finger stops any further words. You say such funny things. Deus ex machina, as the word implies, this world is run by a mechanical god, so it isn't natural that you would see jokes and farces every day. She has a proud smile on her face. Probably because she said something clever. Right now my purpose is to give you a hint for breaking your current deadlock. I can only say it once, so make sure you pay attention and don't forget. The girl who has declared herself to be my sister immediately starts explaining, ignoring me, who still hasn't fully processed the situation. The Mart Mark II Type L was built with the goal of managing the old capital. Then this school was built on top of the old capital, which means that the god that is, also known as Mart Mark II Type L, is in the basement of this school. The entrance to the basement is under the principal's desk. If you take me before the Mart Mark II Type L, there's a possibility that you and I, Casserole, can escape from here. Why has my sister's personality come back? Why does she have top secret information about the school? I have no idea how I'm supposed to react to this abrupt plot development. It's okay, God only gives us trials we can overcome. Well then, I'm going to change into Casserole. If possible, do it tomorrow morning. That girl is waiting for that time too, so be quick. Hey, wait! It seems that my sister's personality vanished along with the BMI's emergency alert. Her unconscious body loses its support and I catch it in my arms. Ishiru, when did you... Until a second ago we were... Huh? These unexpected developments are making me terribly dizzy. I'm not entirely sure what my sister was trying to say, but it seems for now that I need to go where the god that is resides. I can't remember if I chose this arc or not. I really don't know. Like, I can't remember. Might be killed? YOLO, motherfucker! What's going on this early? I might get wrapped up in some big-ass mess. Huh? YOLO! Hey, Ishiru, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm just kind of venting some lingering complaints. It's the morning after my sister appeared. Shooting for a time when no one is around, I'm heading to the school's basement with Casserole. I don't really get it. Besides, where did you say we were going this early? To where the god that To where the god that is resides. Are you still half asleep? Well, I guess that'd be the normal reaction. Anyway, I just want you to trust me and come along. Guess I've got no choice. I pull on her hand that she's using to rub her tired eyes and head towards the principal's office where the entrance is supposed to be. Should I be saving right now? I have a feeling I should be saving the game right now, yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's go right here. Ishiru, haven't we been retracing our steps through the same area for a while? We go near the principal's office, but I haven't mustered the courage to open the door. I say she's like a machine, but I don't think she'd be here this early in the morning, and I can't be certain she's not. Knowing her, it wouldn't be strange if she forgoes sleep and works endlessly. That said, hesitating like this won't do. Take a deep breath and gather my resolve. We're going into the principal's office. Is that okay? She probably can't understand why I'm hesitating like this. Casserole and the other students don't know how terrifying she is. While both envying and cursing Casserole's carefree attitude, I muster my courage and reach for the door. Wait. At which point, I'm stopped by a familiar voice from behind. I know it's Mr. Suji without turning around. Matsuri isn't here, but what do you need? Is that right? I just had something to discuss with Matsuri. I break out in an unpleasant sweat. My sister, who appeared last night, said there was no need to worry about being overheard. But could the school have found out? My pulse is pounding from unease and fear. This early in the morning? Well, yeah. The only thing his tone conveys is suspicion. He doesn't seem to know my goal, though. This isn't the worst case scenario. And yet... And you're bringing a student? I can't fool him beyond this point. Should I take Casserole back to her dorm room? Or should we stay and get cross-examined? Regardless of which path I take, it doesn't change the fact that I've let our opportunity of a morning with no one around slip away. In which case there is only one option. Cassie, run! Okay. This is fucking retarded. Hey, wait! Sensing Mr. Suji's presence following us, I pull in Casserole's hand and run behind the school building. Hey, weren't we going to go into the principal's office? First we need to shake Mr. Suji. I've grasping the palm of her hand tightly. I'm desperately holding on to the hand that I shook off out of fear that day. I wonder why. For some strange reason, I can't help but smile even in this situation. And what do you know, we're back here. We're in front of the principal's office. We're both breathing heavily. Did we lose him? For the moment. I can't hear his footsteps or voice anymore. And watch, I bet Matsuri's gonna be in the fucking office waiting for us. We seem to have lost him for the time being. But considering we just caused a scene, there's a good chance this is now what is known as the calm before the storm. Let's go in while we can. I say that, gathering my resolve, and burst into the principal's office, and it doesn't seem like she's here. I head for under her desk. I pry open the hinge door that is in fact there and slip inside. Oh, shit. Never mind. I seriously might be killed. YOLO for reals. What is it this time? In front of the god that is now. What? Ishiru, you're playing with that device again. What are you doing this time? Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd vent some of my lingering fear. A semi-translucent crystalline formation soars before us. It is without a doubt the thing in the picture my sister showed me once. Which means it's Mark II Type L, also known as the god that is. The administrator of this continent, a computer that is said to be far more complex than the human mind. Hey, Cassie. What? Does your head feel itchy or anything, like your personality is about to switch or something? Ishiru, are you tired? I laugh. This might be the worst possible situation. Or rather, I really am crazy. My sister who appeared last night definitely said to bring Casserole before the god that is. She also said, by doing so, me, her, and Casserole could possibly escape from this place. But was that really my sister? This was a fatal miss. I saw Peeler die, killed Lang, and lost Oro's sister and Mincer. And I even forgot myself last night. With all that has happened, something finally snapped. A time when my heart was full of openings. The most convenient moment for a person who was thinking something devilish. A perfect chance to look down on me, toy with me, and test my true nature. The one who claimed to be my sister. Said that only Casserole's BMI had been reprogrammed. I understood something after my blood runs cold and I calmed down and think. There's only one person who would possibly be able to do such a ridiculous thing, and would find merit in aiming for that moment to deceive me. I hear footsteps approaching. Ah, shit. This is disappointing, Ishiru. So it's you. Matsuri quietly appears. The way she does things is simply distasteful. So you really did end up picking Aya. The one you betrayed once, your loyalties change on a whim. I point the barrel of the handgun I brought just in case at Matsuri. Please don't move. Are you going to shoot me like you did Lang? That depends on what you plan to do now. I can't sense any fear from her as she laughs as though enjoying it. I guess a handgun doesn't constitute a threat to her. Considering she appeared all by herself in this situation, she probably has some kind of plan or some way to deal with us. Why did you decide to test me? There was no guarantee that when Aya's consciousness reawakened, you would actually bring the information on Mark II typed L to me. If your sibling love were to reawaken, you might turn on me. Isn't it only natural to confirm something you have obvious doubts about? Even so, this farce was a low blow. My imitation, Aya, told you she didn't. This world is run by a mechanical god, so isn't it natural that you would see jokes and farces every day? The mechanical god is on my side. You could say that this kind of farce is our specialty. So what do you intend to do with us? In regards to Aya, I was considering graduation. If the chances of me safely and unilaterally understanding the error in Mark II type L are low, then it would be safer to do that to hedge my risk. Shit. I put some strength into my finger on the trigger. In regards to you, that's right. I owe you for stopping Aya's rebellion once. I'm considering gallantly looking after you as long as I can to keep you alive. I've always wanted a toy. Her face is as expressionless as always, but her words are more sadistic and terrifying than usual. Matsuri, are you perhaps being emotional? Of course, despite this, I trusted you. I respected you in a way, and almost liked you in another. And yet you betrayed me and are trying to destroy something precious to me. There's no way I wouldn't be angry, don't you think? She says this and looks directly at me with eyes thick with resentment. I don't want to hate you any more than I already do. Get down the gun, don't make me get violent. The moment she says this, she starts coming closer step by step. Please stay away, I really will shoot you. It would be meaningless, shooting me would not resolve anything. If you shoot me, things will only devolve into chaos. Don't you understand, you're the number 2 in the hierarchy. Ignoring the machine over there, you are the person with the highest position in this country. If you disappear, the school rules and administration might change. I might find a way. Alright, sorry once again, guys, for that interruption. Again, there's probably going to be like 55,000 more during this video. But anyway, continuing. You're so naive, you really don't understand anything. Ignorance really is a crime. She smiles as she says this, and continues to slowly come closer. Don't come any closer. My voice raised in anger makes Casserole shake in fear beside me. I can only imagine how savage the scene must appear, to her eyes that have only known this school as a happy place. If you want to shoot, then do it. But prepare yourself for the fact that if you shoot, it will be the last thing you do before your future becomes a hopeless tragedy. Don't think you'll have a peaceful death or be able to live like a human. With calm movements, she steadily comes closer. The gun in my hand has gotten sticky from the sweat of my hand. I can hear the rough pounding of my heart, as well as my teeth chattering and my shoulders shaking. The distance between me and Matsuri at this point isn't even a full meter. There are 15 bullets in the clip. It's the mag! God damn it! My target is right in front of me. Even if my aim is off because of panic or fear, I shouldn't miss at this range. Even if I did somehow miss the first shot, the remaining 14 shots should hit her. I don't think she's wearing bulletproof clothes or armor or has weapons on her. She's so defenseless it makes me uneasy. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to kill her. Put down the gun. Her voice is full of anger. She's been slowly but steadily getting closer and now is only 10 centimeters away. She's so close I can reach out and touch her. Even now, you at least can. It'll be dangerous if she gets any closer. Before I can even think, my finger reacts. Matsuri grasps at her abdomen near her liver and kneels over. It seems I hit her at least. I shoot her twice in the heart from behind. She lets out a cry of anguish, falls face down on the ground, and ceases to move. The response I was expecting. There's no way I failed to kill her at this range. I move the hair on her motionless body and check the pulse of her jugular. Perhaps a result of whatever material the outer walls in this room are made of, her body temperature is already eerily low. Naturally, she has no pulse. Let's go, Cassie. I grab Casserole's arm in order to hide the trembling in my fingers that just checked her pulse. Ishiru, why? Casserole, who doesn't understand the situation, looks down at Matsuri's collapsed body and doesn't move an inch. Casserole probably thought until just a moment ago that her peaceful days at the school would continue. Not knowing the truth of the matter, her shock is probably on a whole other level from mine. I can understand why she'd be petrified. However, if we were to stay here like this, there's a good chance Mr. Suji and the other teachers and security could show up. We need to get out of here, even if I have to force her. Let's go! No, stop, you're acting weird. She shakes off my grasp. There's fear in her eyes. The way she's looking at me is clearly different from the trust-filled gaze she had until a moment ago. My chest hurts, from sadness and regret. I feel like I'm going to go crazy from the agony of this absurdity. Whatever, just come on! I yell and throw up my hand holding the gun. Ah! Are you going to kill me too? Fuck. I had absolutely no intention of doing that, but the regret causes all the blood to drain from my head. I put the gun back into the breast pocket, lower my voice, and try to persuade her. At this rate, both you and I will be killed. That is that kind of scary place. We have to hurry up and escape. This is weird. The principal was just saying that she'd let me graduate. Aren't you the scary one? I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Casserole has lost her composure. Fuck. It's only natural considering her position. I'm trying to read fast because I don't know when the next interruption is going to be, and I don't want this video to be like 7 hours long. So I apologize if I'm reading too fast and if I begin to fuck up in my reading. So, what graduating means, the dangerous situation I've put her in. She doesn't know a single thing about them. But I don't have time to explain the situation to her. Cassie. She doesn't like it, but I grab her shoulder and forcibly embrace her. There's no time to explain right now, but I can explain why things turned out like this. For now, I'm begging you not to bother me with questions. I pat her trembling back with one hand and stroke her hair with the other. I hear a small exhalation like a sigh in my ear. So what should I do? Run away from here. Run to where? That's right. That's the biggest problem. If we don't manage to escape the school, we won't live more than a few hours. If we don't manage to escape the school, we won't live more... Well, fuck. For now, it might be a good idea to go to the coastline area where Lang and Mincer hid. This is an inescapable solitary island, and the continent is fully monitored, so there's nowhere you could possibly run. Yeah? Ah, fuck. A sharp pain runs through the back of my head. My vision starts to go white. Hazy outline of girl, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's her. You really are naive. I told you it was meaningless. Ishiru. System call. Freeze. It's a solemn voice that gives no hints that she'd been shot. She didn't have a pulse. There's no fucking way. How? Deus Ex Machina is the name for it. My consciousness is growing hazy. I just barely managed to look up and see her gunshot wounds. Instead of a single drop of blood, there are intricate circuit boards visible. Oh, shit. So Matsuri's not even human at all. She's a fucking android. Visually, this cold space hasn't changed. It doesn't seem like a whole lot of time has passed. Ignoring the fact that the frozen casserole has fainted, the situation hasn't changed much from earlier. My hands and feet aren't even bound. So you're already awake? How could you tell? Intuition. Intuition? Puzzling. I feel stiff. She's smiling, but there are in fact 3 bullet wounds in her abdomen. From those holes I mercilessly put through her. Metal circuits and intertwined cords that no human should have peek out occasionally. Your heart and liver at least seem to be mechanical. What about the rest of you? Did you not understand the real meaning behind my comment, Deus Ex Machina? My body is 100% metal from head to toe. Then wouldn't it be strange for you to have something like intuition? How insulting. I can have abstract thoughts too. I have subtle emotions the same as you. And yet you give off such inorganic impression. Fuck, I can't read. That's for work, but at any rate, what am I to do with you? I told you earlier that you needed to be prepared for the consequences if you shot me. Do you still have a trick up your sleeve? Am I but a pig? Stew me or grill me as you see fit. I raise my hands up and in a surrendering pose. Casserole, my sister, can't move, and I don't have the willpower to try to escape. I see. I regret from the bottom of my heart that I must punish you. These last few years have been so much fun. Then how about you let me and my sister escape? A god such as me can't break the rules. God? I visually compare her and the crystal soaring behind her. The words should indicate that Mark II type L enshrined in this room as the god that is, not Matsuri. The humanoid terminal called Matsuri is but one of my terminals. My true form is the computing unit Mark II Type L. Matsuri herself has no computing capabilities. She is something akin to a peripheral. Mark II Type L has a complexity that exceeds human synapses in number. That's right, the individual known as me happened to spring forth amidst the astronomically complex sea of circuits. In terms of hardware specs, he's already in existence far above humans. I remember my sister's words. It seems she was right. Do you understand why I said shooting me was meaningless now? The destruction of this body has no relation to me. It is simply a matter of reproducing the same body. I can only laugh dryly. The one I'd been interacting with the last few months was the god that is the whole time. Lang and I were completely out of our league. Wait, then why are you, the Mark II Type L, searching for your own defect? If you're aware of it, you should have a general idea of where the problem is. Nonsense. When you're sick, can you tell your five senses the location of or the way of treating your disease? That's impossible. Right? I can't help but agree with her. Even if I'm not aware of the cause, it is true that there is a fatal bug in me. That is a lie. Wait, that is no lie. It's clear from the fact my operational precision is declining. Is there an error in my machine learning processes? Is there a malfunction in my engine? I'm even losing rationality in my reasoning processes. This isn't something I should be telling you about, but I can't help it. It's true. It's illogical to tell the person you're about to punish. The concerns of Matsuri, or rather the god that is, are real. I unconsciously snicker at how human she is being able to admit she has emotions. Committing foolish sins and living in regret. Having illogical concerns and doing something contradictory every time you come to some conclusion. I can see a lot of my pathetic self in that. If you were just a cold being bound by logic, you at least wouldn't have these kinds of wretched feelings inside. I see, that's it. What the fuck? It's so simple. What? I understand what your defect is. Ridiculous. How could you figure out something that I couldn't? I smile wryly. If I say it out loud, it'll sound like an absurd problem. Once you know what it is, it's the kind of error that anyone could see. Because it's an area that we as humans are all too familiar with. But it's not a big deal. The defect in Mark II Type L is deep-rooted and essential. Emotion and reason. Rational and irrational. An ambivalent mixture of layers of thoughts. Are the essence of emotions and being human. The conclusion is obvious. A being that possesses emotion cannot perfectly pass down rational judgment. That's right. The complexity known as emotion is the forbidden fruit for her. Just as humans lost eternal life in exchange for the knowledge of good and evil, she's obtained emotions and lost her perfect rationality. Stray sheep. Indeed, this girl has attained emotions, and broken free of the cold framework of the machine. You're bluffing. The reproduction of emotions simply shows how high my computation power is. Yes, however, it's a power that exceeds being purely rational. You are no longer qualified to manage society as a rational god. Just as humans were expelled from the Garden of Eden for knowing good and evil and coming too close to God, a machine that knows emotions has come too close to being human, and isn't qualified to be an absolute administrator. If you're saying that, I already have a fundamental defect. What's your proof? I guess I can name a few examples. How about the fact that I'm still alive and in perfect health? I planned to escape taking my sister along and even pointed a gun at Matsuri. Even though I know her true identity, I'm standing here having a peaceful conversation with her without so much as a single physical restraint. She could have killed me, restrained me, or called for other people at any time. You could also say that a computer that's reasonable for monitoring the entire country has no logical reason to be here with me at this point. Unless I'm being overly self-conscious, you're telling me much more than necessary. You're hitting me where it hurts. The smile on her lips is more gentle than I expected. You're not being overly self-conscious. I already told you, Yushiru. I almost like you in a way. Her face as she says this returns to a strained smile and looks a little exhausted. Nothing has changed outwardly, but the sense of mystery and my nervousness fades a little. It seems I have had reason for existing as I do taken away. I've been operating for more than 500 years. Neither I nor the humans who created me imagined this. That emotions would be the end of me. System call. Restart. Immediately Casserole's back twitches as she lays on the floor. She could regain consciousness soon. What do you intend to do? As I am now, I cannot refute your point. Perhaps I really can no longer make rational judgment. If emotions are the cause of this, there is nothing I can do about it. Or perhaps I don't want to do anything about it. Saying this, she gently puts her hand to her chest. It's like she's gently enveloping the emptiness above the small holes there. Her expression is strangely tranquil. I admit my defeat and have lost the quality that justifies me being an administrator. I have no right to judge this girl or to stop you. You may do as you wish from here on. There's no problem. On the contrary, this is such good news that I want to applaud. But even so, this is little much. Can she really be withdrawing this easily? Just because I pointed out to her from a fundamental defect? Normally someone would argue or resist. There's no merit in her setting us up considering we're already at her mercy. Assuming there's no catch. God damn it, another fucking... Okay, so after fixing a lawnmower and cutting part of the grass, I'm fucking back now. Third time. Matsuri, did you perhaps foresee this from the start? God only gives us trials we can overcome. I remember the words the person claiming to be my sister said last night. That might have been the message from Matsuri. No. She immediately responds with a placid face that doesn't betray her true intent. I could not see the outcome of this, nor did I know the root cause of my defect. I was truly thinking of punishing you depending on the situation. If you were to stop me, the kind of future could be possible too. I just faintly wished for that. Deus ex machina. A mechanical god that brings the story to an end. In the end, I may have just been dancing in the palm of her hand. Even if not everything leading to the curtain's closing was part of her plan. If she hadn't felt like it, the conclusion would have been impossible. What are you going to do? I call out to Matsuri as she's about to slip away. I've lost my reason for existing. I've been working without rest or sleep for more than 500 years. After I finish passing on control, I'm going to take some time off and sleep. Looking around the room, it's only partial, but I could tell the system is shutting down. I've got a bad feeling about what she meant by sleep. Matsuri, what is it you liked about me? How you think about the people around you and try to pretend to be strong. How you're illogical and hopeless how you're a illogical and hopeless human. She states it smoothly as she's reciting from memory. I see, even though we didn't directly interact that many times. No. We've known each other longer than you'd think. Eh? I'm confused as to what she means. And then, her cold, outstretched metallic fingers touch my cheek. We're so close I'd be able to hear her breathing. The irises of her eyes wavering before me are in indescribable hue. Her sculpture-like coldly elegant features glue me to the spot. This place is East of Eden. East of Eden? What do you mean? If you're interested, you should look into it yourself. Those words are the ultimate hint. Her freezing cold fingers gently leave my cheek. Farewell. With her usual composure, she disappears down the passageway. Casserole and I are left alone in the desolate space. Hey, Cassie, wake up. I can't eat anymore. What? Classic. She seems to have been just sleeping. I breathe a sigh of relief and poke her sides. Yeah. Please don't touch me in weird places. Where'd the principal go? Oh, she left the room. Wait. Ah! I'm not doing that noise too. I blink. The halo-shaped BMI that was above her disappeared without me What? Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. I check the area and sure enough the silver halo is lying on the ground idle. I get a flashback of the scene during Peeler's graduation. I'm struck by a feeling of disbelief that feels like it's gripping my heart tightly. But please don't yell so suddenly, you scared me. Are you okay? There's nothing wrong? You asked me that earlier too. Are you harassing me? I guess you're fine. I asked the same of you. She stares at me suspiciously. It seems there really aren't any obstacles in our way. Probably thanks to Matsuri. By the way, what happened with all the violence and excitement of whether or not to shoot or run? It's over. Forget it. Whoa, I can't feel a bit of sincerity in your non-committal answer. If you talk like that, girls won't like you. Leave me alone. Even if I suddenly told her about the personality, Aya Yamada, she'd definitely just be confused. Matsuri turning a blind eye to us probably bought us some time. I should keep an eye on her and slowly, carefully inform her of the truth. Hey, Cassie, why don't we go somewhere far away? Sure, but what kind of place? A lake where you can see the stars as well. Our paradise lost. Unlike Adam and Eve, even though we gained much, we didn't have much taken from us. There's even a chance that time may bring back what was lost. Even if you commit sins and are overcome with regret, there is hope in being alive. There's no need to always adhere to what is correct. After all, from the very start, humans are beings that were let loose after committing a sin. Being pathetic and illogical and continuing to make mistakes, that itself is what it means to be human. She and I are stray sheep covered in wounds. What happens to those two who were set free from East of Eden is another story. But, regardless of whether the future is difficult and sad, or if it's a cruel, ethically deplorable story, they will continue on without stopping. Because she, who was God, only gives trials that can be overcome. So did I get a good ending, or what happened? Oh, shit! Finally did it! I got one of the good endings. Well, damn. Okay, I think I'm gonna save this here. I'm gonna save it right there. And you guys can finish watching the credits. And after the credits roll and everything, I will be back, and yeah, we'll just take it from there. Okay, so I guess we're not finished? Um, Okay. Let's see what happens here. Oh, okay. Ishiru, the water is nice and cold. If you mess around too much, your clothes will get wet. These aren't the uniforms from the academy with surveillance equipment in them, so it doesn't matter if they get a little wet. She ignores my warning and continues further into the lake. The tomboyish side of her is still the same as ever. Thinking about it now, her thoughtfulness, and how easy she is to deal with may have been charming. What do you think? It's been 1 year since we left the academy. I finally brought her to the lake we used to visit. The loss of the god, that is, had serious repercussions both inside and outside of the continent. Many places are in chaos, so the road here was terribly difficult. This is so nostalgic. Casserole is slowly regaining her memories from when she was Aya. It's not like she switches between Aya and Casserole, but rather the two consciousnesses are slowly coming together. Issue. Oh, shit, not issue. Issue. Issue, aren't you going to come into the water? My pants would get wet, so I'll pass. You're a downer as usual. She sounds disappointed. Well, whatever. Wow, amazing, look at the constellation. I watch over here as she kicks and jumps around in the water a ways off. I hope she doesn't cut her feet on any rocks. Her being able to enjoy herself on her own could be considered a talent in a way. I, on the other hand, am terribly bored and worried. Maybe it's because I've been doing it for so long. I pull the device terminal out of my pocket. Back in my hometown, there's no response. There hasn't been all year. The loss of that person who had watched over me for more than a decade has cast a shadow on my heart. Though I've consoled myself with the fact I got my sister back in return. At any rate, I feel so free. This is happiness. That school was East of Eden, so naturally this is totally incredible. East of Eden? Those are the words that Matsuri said at the end. Sis, what does East of Eden mean? I'm not Wikipedia, you know. Come on. Geez, guess I've got no choice. In the Bible, it's the land of Nod, which means land of exile in Hebrew. It also refers to the place the angels called cherubim, defend the forbidden fruit known as the Tree of Life. Cherubim? They were the second in the hierarchy of the angels. The pieces are coming together now. This really is Deus Ex Machina, an abrupt plot development. I see. We've known each other longer than I had thought, huh? Did you say something? It's nothing. I revel in the joy from the bottom of my heart. From start to finish. It seems I was truly deceived by that mechanical god. Between the two of us, who was the stray sheep and who was the shepherd leading them? I don't even know anymore. So what, was this here a good ending or a bad ending? Oh, the true end! Fuck yeah! Okay, nice. Well, that's good at least. We got the true ending of the game. And yeah guys, if you know of any other endings, like I showed 3. I showed the bad ending and the very bad ending, and I showed the true ending. Do you guys know of any alternative ends to this game that I can go back and play? And if not, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. And if you did, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, because, you know, I really enjoy reading your guys' feedback. And besides that, you know, I really want to know if there's any more to this game. Like, it was really good. It was probably one of the best visual novels that I've read so far, even though I have quite a few that I'm going to be bringing to this channel in the future. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button. And until the next video series, please stay tuned, and peace out.